The first topic is called commenting adverbs with future forms. This topic is about all the adverbs we can use to include an opinion about something. The structure of this is very simple. We have the subject, then we add will, then we add our commenting adverb, then we add our verb, and finally we finish with our complement. And the second way, but using going to, goes like this. We start with our subject, then we add the auxiliary with the verb to be, then we add our commenting adverb, then we put going to, then goes the verb, and finally our complement. This structure allows us to express our own opinion in normal future sentences. For example, this century will have become the age of the robot. It's a normal future sentence that doesn't show any opinion, but if we add an adverb like inevitably, we have this century will inevitably become the age of the robot. Another example, but with going to, will be the big ball is going to explode on her face. But if we add an adverb, we have the big ball is definitely going to explode off her face. As you can notice, a simple adverb can change considerably our sentences. Maybe the most difficult to this topic is learning the structure or remembering the adverbs. Future perfect and future continuous. This topic is one of my favorites because it is very useful. It is about describing situations in the future at different points of time. Let's take a look to the structure. For future perfect we have the subject, then we add will, then we add have, then we add our verb in past participle tense, and we end with our complement. For the future continuous structure, we have the subject plus will plus verb to be plus the verb with ing, and we end with our complement. This structure, as you can see, is kinda simple. It is just the structure of future perfect and future continuous, but with will in the middle. We can use those structures to make predictions, just like you will have a child before you finish your studies, or you will be staying awake doing homework tonight. I believe that the most difficult thing about this is remembering the conjugation of the irregular verbs to past participle tense. For the topic number 3, we have the uses of will. This topic is about all the uses of will. The structure is the same as we already know. The only thing that changes are the uses. For the first use, we have to make predictions, assumptions, and deductions about the future. An example of this will be, this movie will be really bad. To the second one is to describe typical behavior, habits, and things that are true now or in general. An example of this will be, these cars will always break down. To the third use, we have to express decisions about the future made at the point of speaking. A common example of this will be, I will never fall in love again. That's a lie, man. The fourth use we have is to criticize habits, behavior, and characteristics. An example of this will be, she won't admit her mistake. And finally, the last use we have is for making offers, agreeing, and promising. There is a song from the Smiths that had the perfect example of this. I won't share you. There's a song. And obviously that's a promising. I think that the most difficult part of this is remembering the 5 uses of will. And the fourth topic is similar to the previous one, and it's about the uses of wood. The structure also is the same, the only thing that changes are the use. We can use wood for point number 1 to refer to past habits and typical expected behavior. An example of this will be when I was a kid, I would go to the swimming classes. On this part, would is similar to use used to because have the same meaning in this structure. On point number 2, we have to make polite request. An example of this would be, would you close the window, please? To point number 3, we have to express an opinion or judgment politely. An example of this will be, I would think that she wouldn't go outside. Point number 4 says to report the statement or question with will. An example would be, my dad promised that he would come back. To point number 5, we have to express what someone or something is willing or able to do. An example would be, he would help anyone in any situation. And finally, the number said to talk about actions in an unreal situation. As an example, we have, what would you have done? That's a common question that people used to say.